Ever feel like you're always busy, but never getting the big, important stuff done? Instead, you end up doing a bunch of little things that don't matter. You know you should be focusing on something important, but you keep putting it off. Maybe you're overwhelmed, stuck in a cycle of procrastination, or find yourself constantly distracted. It's easy to feel like time is slipping away without making any real progress. Eat That Frog is here to help you break free from all of that. This book gives you simple, practical tips to stop avoiding the hard tasks, get rid of distractions, and stop wasting time. It helps you figure out what matters and teaches you how to take action on your most important goals. Whether you're a student juggling assignments, a professional trying to keep up, or anyone who wants to stop feeling overwhelmed and start getting stuff done, this book will show you exactly how to focus, prioritize, and get things done. Ready to stop procrastinating and finally make progress? Let's dive in. We've all been there, jumping into a project or goal without really knowing where to start, only to find ourselves confused and scattered halfway through. It's like trying to drive somewhere new without a map. You might eventually get there, but it's going to take a lot longer and be a lot more stressful. That's why the first step to getting things done is all about setting the table, figuring out exactly what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there. Before you tackle any task, spend some time thinking about your big goals. What do you want to accomplish in the next few months or even years? If you don't have a clear vision, it's easy to get distracted by all the little things that don't matter. The key here is getting super specific. Instead of just saying, "I want to be successful," think about what success looks like for you. Is it landing a promotion, starting a business, getting fit? Once you've got a clear picture, break it down into smaller, actionable steps. Think of it like making a recipe. You wouldn't just grab random ingredients and throw them together. You need a plan. By setting clear goals and figuring out the steps to reach them, you're creating your roadmap. It's easier to know where to focus your energy, and it'll help you avoid getting caught up in things that don't get you closer to your main goals. So, take a few minutes today to write down your goals, big or small, and get specific about what needs to happen to make them a reality. Here's a common situation. You wake up in the morning, dive straight into whatever's in front of you, emails, social media, small tasks, and by the end of the day, you realize you didn't make any real progress on the important stuff. It feels like you've been busy all day, but the big tasks you've been putting off are still waiting for you. This is where planning your day comes in. It's simple but powerful. Take 10 to 15 minutes at the end of each day, or first thing in the morning, to plan your day. The goal is to be intentional about how you spend your time. Write down everything you need to do, but then take it a step further. Prioritize. Which tasks are most important? Which ones will get you closer to your bigger goals? Most importantly, decide which task is your frog, the big, challenging task that you've been avoiding. Tackle that one first. By making it your priority, you'll set yourself up for success. Getting that frog out of the way early means you'll feel accomplished and motivated to take on the rest of your day. Plus, when you have a plan in place, you're less likely to get distracted by random things that pop up throughout the day. You'll be more focused and productive, instead of just reacting to whatever comes your way. Planning your day is a simple habit, but it makes a huge difference. It helps you stay organized, calm, and focused on the things that matter most. So, take a few minutes each day to set yourself up for success. You'll be amazed at how much more you can get done. We've all heard the saying, "Not all tasks are created equal." Well, the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle, takes that idea even further. It suggests that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. In other words, the key to being more productive is identifying and focusing on the tasks that make a difference. Think about it. In any project or task, there's usually a small group of things that will get you the biggest payoff. Maybe in your job, it's making that important client call, or working on a specific report. Or for a student, it could be studying the chapters that will show up most in exams, not spending time on less important material. So, the trick here is to figure out what those 20% of tasks are that will give you the most value and prioritize them above everything else. This doesn't mean ignoring the other 80%. It just means that instead of getting lost in minor tasks that don't contribute much, you'll focus on the ones that will push you toward your bigger goals. For example, if you're working on a big project at work, you might find that 80% of your progress comes from just a handful of tasks, maybe conducting research or preparing key presentations. Make those your focus, and let the smaller tasks fall into place later. Often we get stuck in the habit of doing things without really thinking about their long-term impact. It's easy to get caught up in the urgency of today's tasks without stopping to consider how they'll affect your bigger goals down the road. The idea here is simple. Think about the consequences of not doing a task or doing it too late. For instance, if you don't tackle your most important task right away, what could happen? Maybe a missed deadline, a frustrated boss, or the loss of an opportunity. On the flip side, if you take action and get that task done, you'll feel accomplished, relieved, and you'll be one step closer to your goals. The key is to weigh the potential positive and negative outcomes of your actions. If you put off a tough task, it might feel easier in the moment, but the stress and anxiety it causes later can be overwhelming. So, by thinking about the consequences of procrastination, you can motivate yourself to tackle the important tasks now, rather than putting them off. This idea is all about understanding the bigger picture. It's about realizing that the small choices we make today can have a huge impact on our future. So, the next time you're tempted to avoid a task, stop and think about the consequences and let that motivate you to get it done. We've all been there, feeling like we're juggling a million tasks, but not making much real progress. It's easy to get distracted by all the smaller, less important things on your list. But what if you could pinpoint the tasks that will move the needle? That's where identifying your key result areas, KRAs, comes in. These are the tasks that directly contribute to your success, the ones that, if done well, will make the biggest impact. For example, if you're a salesperson, your KRAs might be meeting with clients or closing deals. If you're a student, your KRAs might include studying for exams and attending classes. The idea is to focus your energy on what matters most, those high-leverage tasks that truly bring results. Once you know what your KRAs are, you can stop wasting time on distractions like organizing your inbox or getting lost in busy work. Instead, pour your effort into the things that will move you closer to your goals, and you'll start to see better outcomes faster. Now that you've figured out what your KRAs are, the next step is to make sure you're tackling them in the best way possible. A big part of that is focusing on your strengths. We all have certain things we're naturally good at, skills and talents that allow us to do certain tasks faster and more effectively than others. So why not make the most of them? Think about it. If you're great at problem solving, spend more time on tasks that require that skill. If you're an excellent communicator, lean into tasks where you can use that strength to connect with others. By focusing on what you're good at, you can work more efficiently and get better results. Plus, you'll enjoy the process a lot more. At the same time, remember that not every task needs to be done by you. If something isn't in your skill set and it's taking up too much of your time, delegate it to someone who can do it better. By focusing on your strengths and freeing up time for the things you do best, you'll be more productive and feel a lot more accomplished. Now that you're focusing on the most important tasks, it's time to look at the things that might be holding you back. These are your key constraints, the roadblocks, habits, or obstacles that prevent you from moving forward faster. Identifying these is crucial because until you know what's slowing you down, it's tough to make real progress. For instance, maybe you're struggling to stay organized, and it's eating up a lot of your time. Or perhaps you have a fear of failure that's stopping you from taking on bigger challenges. Once you pinpoint your key constraint, you can focus on addressing it head-on. Is your lack of organization the problem? Set up a system that works for you. If fear is holding you back, work on building your confidence and taking small steps outside of your comfort zone. The important thing here is that once you remove or improve your key constraint, everything else will get easier. By identifying the biggest hurdle in your path and fixing it, you free up your energy to focus on what matters most, helping you move toward your goals faster and more efficiently. Once you've tackled your key constraint, The next step is to start applying pressure to yourself to get things done. You need to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. We all tend to stay in our comfort zones, avoiding challenges that might seem intimidating. But to make progress, you have to apply pressure to yourself to tackle those difficult tasks. Think of it like training for a sport. You don't get better by staying in your comfort zone. You get better by pushing yourself to work harder, even when it's tough. The same goes for achieving your goals. If you want to get better at something, whether it's your job, school, or personal development, you have to hold yourself accountable. Set higher standards for yourself, and give yourself that extra push to meet them. By applying pressure to yourself, you'll raise your expectations and start seeing bigger results. And as you start to meet these higher standards, your confidence grows, and you'll naturally continue to push yourself even further. Sometimes, the hardest part of a task isn't figuring out what to do. It's getting started. Motivation can be tricky, especially when the task ahead feels overwhelming or boring. But here's the thing. Waiting around for motivation to strike is usually a losing game. Instead, the key is to motivate yourself into action. This means taking the first step, no matter how small. Often, just starting is enough to get the ball rolling. If you're feeling stuck, try breaking the task into tiny, manageable pieces. Once you start making progress, you'll find that motivation follows. It's like getting started on a workout. Once you're in motion, you start to feel more energized and ready to push through. Before we move on to the next part, I just wanted to ask, if you found this video helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps us motivated to create more content like this. Every like, comment, and subscription helps us improve and stay on track with bringing you even better videos. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, your support makes a difference. Thanks a ton for being here with us. Enjoy the video. Another great technique to motivate yourself is to visualize the result. Picture the satisfaction of crossing that task off your list, or the reward you'll get after completing it. By focusing on the positive outcome and committing to that first step, you'll give yourself the boost you need to keep going. Now that you've learned how to motivate yourself into action, the next step is all about keeping that momentum going. Once you've started, the key is to keep moving. Don't stop. It's easy to get distracted, lose focus, or just give in to procrastination again. But the more consistent you are in taking action, the more progress you'll make. Think of it like building a snowball. At first it's small and slow, but as you keep pushing forward, it picks up speed and size. The key is to stay consistent and not get bogged down by the small obstacles or distractions that come your way. Focus on the next step and keep pushing through even when things get tough. One way to make this easier is by setting a rhythm. Whether it's working for a set amount of time or breaking your day into focused bursts of energy, having a routine can help you stay on track. The more you practice the habit of taking action, the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. When faced with a big task, it's easy to get overwhelmed. The sheer size of it can make you want to avoid it entirely. But here's the key. Break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. This is what slicing and dicing the task is all about. Instead of looking at a huge project as one giant mountain to climb, think of it as a series of small steps. Let's say you have a big report due for work. Instead of thinking, I have to write this entire report, break it down into smaller tasks. Research the topic, write the introduction, draft the main body, review, and so on. Each of these tasks feels much more manageable than the whole report, and you'll feel accomplished as you check each step off. The trick is to take the first step, any step, and then keep going. Each little win will build momentum, and the project will start to feel less daunting. By breaking tasks into smaller chunks, you'll be able to tackle them with confidence and move through them quickly. Now that you know how to break tasks into manageable pieces, the next step is about creating the time you need to get things done. The key to being productive is not just about working harder, but working smarter by setting aside larger chunks of uninterrupted time to focus on what matters most. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Emails, phone calls, social media. But to make real progress, you need to carve out time where you can concentrate deeply on your important tasks. This could mean scheduling a block of time in your day specifically for focused work, free from any distractions. It's about setting boundaries with yourself and others, so you can immerse yourself in a task without interruptions. For example, maybe you decide to work for 2 hours straight on a big project, without checking your phone or getting sidetracked by other tasks. By creating large chunks of uninterrupted time, you'll not only accomplish more, but you'll do so with better focus and less stress. The trick is to prioritize your time, making sure that when you sit down to work, you're giving your full attention to the task at hand. When you're trying to get a lot done, it can feel like everything is urgent. But the truth is, not all tasks are equally important. That's where the ABCDE method comes in. This method helps you prioritize your tasks and focus on what matters most, so you can use your time wisely. Here's how it works. A task is your top priority. These are the ones that have the biggest impact on your goals. If you don't complete these, the consequences will be significant. B tasks are important, but they don't have as severe consequences if they're delayed. C tasks are nice to do, but aren't urgent or essential. D tasks are those you can delegate to someone else. E tasks are the ones you should eliminate. They don't contribute to your goals at all. By using this system, you can see which tasks you need to focus on first and which ones you can let go of or push down your list. When you focus your time on your A tasks and only do the B, C, D, and E tasks as necessary, you're spending your time on things that move you toward your goals. We've all had that feeling of being overwhelmed by too many commitments. One of the main reasons we end up busy but unproductive is that we say yes to too many things. Saying yes to everything means you're spreading yourself thin and not leaving enough time for your most important tasks. That's why learning to say no is essential for effective time management. It's important to remember that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, usually your priorities. This doesn't mean being rude or refusing to help others, but it does mean being clear about your boundaries and protecting your time. Whether it's a meeting that isn't necessary or a request for your time that doesn't align with your goals, saying no helps you focus on what's truly important. For example, if you're focused on finishing a big project and a colleague asks you to take on another task that isn't urgent, it's okay to say no. Protecting your time allows you to work on the things that matter most, and when you do say yes, it's because it aligns with your goals and values. One of the keys to achieving your goals and beating procrastination is shifting your mindset toward excellence. This chapter emphasizes how important it is to focus on doing things well, not just getting them done. When you commit to excellence, you automatically raise your standards and ensure that the work you produce is of high quality. It's not about perfection. It's about striving to do your best every time. Whether you're working on a big project, tackling a small task, or interacting with others, focusing on excellence means giving it your full attention and effort. By consistently aiming for excellence, you'll stand out from the crowd and build a reputation for reliability and quality. This mindset helps you stay motivated too, because you take pride in the work you do, and that satisfaction fuels further productivity. For example, instead of rushing through tasks to simply cross them off your list, take the time to do them properly. The more you commit to excellence, the more confident you'll feel in your ability to accomplish anything. Plus, you'll be less likely to procrastinate because you'll know the result will be something you can truly be proud of. It's easy to fall into the trap of taking your time, especially when there's no immediate deadline. But here's the thing, creating a sense of urgency can be a game changer for productivity. When you treat your tasks as if they have a pressing deadline, you naturally work faster and more efficiently. Having a sense of urgency doesn't mean rushing through tasks without care. It means recognizing the importance of getting things done on time and with focus. When you approach your tasks with urgency, you're giving them the attention they deserve and avoiding procrastination. This urgency helps you stay motivated and prevents you from wasting time on distractions. To create this sense of urgency, try setting your deadlines for tasks, even if they don't have one. For example, instead of saying, "I'll get to that report when I can," say, "I'll finish this report by 3 p.m. Treat every task like it's time-sensitive, and you'll be amazed at how much more you get done. One of the most powerful productivity hacks is to focus on one task at a time. We live in a world that constantly encourages multitasking, but the truth is that multitasking often leads to mistakes, inefficiency, and burnout. The secret to getting more done is simple: single-handle every task. When you single-handle a task, you give it your full attention from start to finish. Instead of bouncing between tasks, trying to juggle everything at once, you focus solely on one thing. This allows you to work faster, more efficiently, and with fewer distractions. For example, if you're writing a report, block out a set period just for that. Don't check your phone, email, or get sidetracked by other tasks. By fully committing to one task, you'll make more progress in less time and produce higher quality work. Plus, when you're focused on one task at a time, you're less likely to procrastinate because the task feels more manageable and less overwhelming. Single-handling helps you gain clarity, boost your concentration, and ultimately get more done with less stress. It's all about giving each task the attention it deserves. We often think of success as something that happens over time, something we'll achieve eventually if we keep working hard. But here's the key takeaway from this chapter. You only have today to work with, so make it count. Treat every day as a unique opportunity to achieve something great. When you focus on making today your masterpiece, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead take action in the here and now. This chapter challenges you to change your perspective on time. Instead of thinking, "I'll do this tomorrow," or "I'll get started next week," make today the day you take action. Whether it's tackling that big project, learning something new, or building a habit, don't put it off. The mindset of making today your masterpiece means that you give your best effort in everything you do, no matter how small. To apply this, think about how you want to feel by the end of the day. What can you accomplish in the next few hours that will move you closer to your bigger goals? Whether it's knocking out a critical task or learning something new, focusing on the present moment and making today your best day sets you up for long-term success. When you consistently treat each day as a masterpiece, you build momentum, keep your motivation high, and start seeing results quickly. To wrap things up, remember that the key to beating procrastination and boosting productivity is simple. Tackle the big tasks first, focus on what truly matters, and stay consistent. We hope these tips help you get more done and take control of your time. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support keeps us motivated to bring you even more valuable content. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.